From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, welcome into the Horse's Mouth here at Tommy Max, of course, at my bar, where everybody's welcome to have a seat, grab a beverage, and tell their story. It's game face time with Coach Campo, and it's not the ghost of Coach Campo. It's the real deal today. He is back. Looking forward to having him on the show. Brought to you by our good friends at Hot Spring Spas. This time around, we're going to talk a little payment processing in the weed business. We're talking a little AI, and we're going to get into the whole mind, body, and soul, and all togetherness. We even have an author here and motivational speaker. So let's get into it and meet the panel. Laura Forrester is up first from Pay Real.
Hello.
How are you, Laura? Did I get that right?
You got it. You
Partially,
got it.
right?
You
Partially
got it.
in the weed business. But you guys,
Yes.
payment processing for a lot of different things.
Yes.
Tell us about it, please.
Payments processing for cannabis dispensaries,
Okay.
e-commerce, so psilocybin online,
Okay.
CBD, anything like that.
Anything like that. Now, where are you guys headquartered here in Florida, or where are you guys
No,
headquartered?
we're out of Silicon Valley,
Okay.
out in California.
Okay. So like you said before, that was who we got on there. That was, this has been going on out there all day long for a long time.
Yes.
Newer to Florida, newer to other states.
Yeah.
But not, everything's out in the clear now, right? It's as far as processing those types of payments, or do you
So-
still got to find your,
Yeah,
navigate your way
it's still
through?
a bit tricky. So it's originally like a cash-only business,
Right.
And it's federally illegal. So we find different avenues to help our
Loopholes.
merchants.
I love
We
it.
find avenues.
Yeah, I like it.
Sounds like a football
I like
coach
it.
trying to find a way around.
Mafia,
Exactly.
football, kind of like that. I dig it.
So
Yeah,
we,
yeah.
you know, it's an underserved market, really.
without a
truly.
doubt, yeah.
And so we're trying to level the playing field with regular low risk versus
Yeah.
high risk, and just make sure that everyone has like an inclusive payments, credit, debit, everything in between.
Government figures
So
out how to make money on everything else. They can't find out how to make money on that stuff. It's crazy. One day.
They'll get
one
their
day.
piece, I'm
They'll
sure.
get there, no
Yes.
doubt. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
For sure. Thomas Lopez is here from Orem, our AI expert.
Yes.
Welcome. You were here a long time ago, weren't you, on the show?
Yeah, about 2 years ago. I was
When we were
here.
downstairs.
Yeah, for the Eagle Scouts program.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely great to have you back. Tell us about Orem and what you guys are doing.
Yeah, Orem is an AI phone system, leading edge, built by salespeople for salespeople, and it's the future of calling, and helps all salespeople make their phone calls and be more efficient.
Just like the presentation, like getting them to refine, hey, this is so and so, and this is why I'm calling, kind of.
No, so
help 'em?
it actually dials multiple numbers at one time, only business to business, and when you say hello, our AI detection detects it and brings the salespeople into the phone call. But with AI growing and growing, we're actually able to know, hey, that number you have in your system, Thomas always picks up, so we're going to say that's a hot number, and he usually picks up at X time. So, so we're really growing the market.
Isn't that wild, Coach?
Well, times are changing fast, boy, I tell
That
you.
is unbelievable. Now, how long you been with Orem?
For about 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so started there as a sales rep, and now I'm in sales operations.
Cool. How do you like the operation side?
Oh, I love it. My goal in life is to increase rep output without increasing rep workload. So really, I automate a lot of things and do a lot of back-end work with them.
All right, cool, man. You're one of the smart guys out there. I love it.
Try to be.
Yeah, no doubt. Great to have you on the show. All right, Rob Swymer's here. RobSwymer.com. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing
Coach,
wonderful.
I'll shake your hand while you're
Hey,
there.
Tom.
Good to have you back, man. I kept saying the ghost of Campo's here, but now you're here in the flesh.
I had a little flu a while ago.
That's okay.
He's good.
We're
He's
good
good.
right now.
He's feeling good. You're looking good. Hair's looking good. Everything's looking really good on you.
Well, I have to kind of
Keep up. I know.
My wife's 9 years younger than I am,
I
so
know
I have
the
to
deal.
stay in the game.
That's right. You're doing a great job. All right, Rob, tell us what you got going on, man.
Yeah, so I'm coming off a 42-year career in sales leadership, sales and high tech, so I can relate. And I was in London for a 2-year assignment through COVID. And I discovered this thing called Physical Intelligence Institute, which really is all about harnessing and unleashing the chemicals that we have in our body. There's hundreds of chemicals, hormones, and neuroreceptors. And what we do is we harness them and unleash them for good and put people in a peak state for leadership, for life and business.
Makes
and
sense.
it's an amazing thing. And it's getting people off that seesaw of cortisol, which is that fight or flight, which a lot of people are in right now,
Yeah.
right? We're all kind of in that.
Exactly.
And then getting that dopamine hit where we go for drink, or we go for food, or we go for likes on Facebook and all this. So I get them balanced where they're releasing those chemicals that we all have right here.
Wow.
So I'm doing that on a keynote stage on a global basis now. So I travel all around the world.
Wow.
I'm giving
great.
back and serving others,
Yeah.
and retired from corporate, and now it's my time to
What,
really
what
give back.
stops the releases? Like the food you eat, or the stress that's in your life, or what stops it?
So
What
we
you're
have
fighting through?
we have the ability to stop and activate all the good chemicals. I call it dose, right? It's a dose of peak state chemicals.
Okay.
Dopamine for good, not just the quick hit.
Yeah.
Oxytocin, the love hormone, right? And serotonin, right?
Yeah,
The belonging's part of something bigger than yourself. And then the endorphins, which gives you that strength and flexibility you need.
Yep.
So it's all with body movement, breath work,
Okay.
manifesting, and I do all that on the stage, and I activate my audience and get them into that state so they can live better and work better in a great state for those
Listen,
around them as well.
I tell you, working out, I get all my ideas
Sure.
from working out. Every like conversation I be have later in the day,
Yeah.
or a project, or just something will spring.
Yeah.
Just I don't know what it is, man. It's just all those endorphins.
That's the
going, I
endorphins.
guess.
It's giving you that creativity and the growth mindset, right? Where you're going to get out of your comfort zone and try something you might not have tried. That's all part of those chemicals. So it really is a cool thing to do. So yeah, I'm having a blast.
Thomas, on the side of calls where they don't pick up, how many times does it take for when the AI says, "All right, I'm not going to call that"?
So it depends.
We all want to know
Personal
that.
information.
So it all depends on the dial, and again, it's only business to business. So like it's not
Okay,
but
right.
only business to business. But it depends on what happens. So our system actually knows if it's your name on the voicemail. So you say, "Hey, this is Thomas Lopez. Like you couldn't reach me." We'll know, so it won't be. But if the number constantly fails,
Yeah.
it's 3 fails and then it goes away.
Yeah.
But if it goes to voicemail, it goes through. And in the sales world, it's typically like 10 calls to 11 calls
Okay.
is when like
They
just
stop calling.
yeah, that's what the sequences. That's what they're called, or cadences.
Okay.
So 10 to 11 calls, and usually sprinkle some emails in there.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, it's
Sprinkle. It's amazing, the emails. You
Yeah.
guys get them too, like all just
Yeah.
crazy,
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
You spend your morning just deleting like about
Deleting.
50 or so emails, maybe
Yeah.
100, something like that.
well. See, that's why the
Absolutely.
phone
That's
calls
why.
were better.
Yeah.
So
You need that.
Yeah,
you need that
exactly.
in college recruiting. Just
Yeah.
get that out there and just start
Yeah.
calling them up.
Absolutely. Laura, if people are watching the show and are into your line of work, tell them about Pay Rio and why Pay Rio over maybe somebody else.
Sure. So we love to, to serve our underserved markets, obviously.
Yep.
Pay Rio's different. We have a whole customer service team on our back end, so you
Okay.
don't have to put in a ticket or call some random processor. Whoever you work with is your account executive, and we stay with you through the end. It's a pretty volatile space, so sometimes you could see shutdowns or pivots happen, even from like a processor standpoint or our standpoint.
Right.
So we're constantly contacting our merchants, making sure they've
Okay.
got like the latest technology, they're happy, that sort of thing.
It's growing like crazy. It's going to
It
continue to
is.
grow.
Yes.
Yeah, all over the country, all over the world. It's almost everywhere for the most part. And then it's the other things too. So good for you. All right, listen, it's Game Face time. So this segment, I got to ask you a question for the panel. What athlete inspires you the most currently? Coach, do you have an athlete out there that you're like, all right, this athlete's pretty darn cool? Or maybe one from the past that maybe you coached or something?
Well, I'll tell you, the guy that kind of sticks out to me right now is Deion Sanders and what he's doing
At
with
Colorado.
Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado,
because
yeah.
he's changed. I like the guys that change the landscape. He's changed the landscape. He came out the other day and said, I don't make any home visits because, I'm working the transfer portal,
Right.
and if they really want to, I'm the guy they want to come see. I don't want to. I don't
Right.
want to go out and
Isn't that
57
nice?
years old. But I just think that the guy was always a leader as a player.
Yep.
And he's doing the same thing as a coach.
Yeah.
That's
All right, Rob, how about you? You have one?
Well, I have Boston roots, so I'm
Okay.
going to go with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And I go with him for a lot of reasons. One, he was an underdog. And he tapped into all of his resources, the kind of stuff I talk about, which, you know, he's a guy that he wasn't the fastest, he wasn't the, you know, the most accurate, but he worked on himself and he did that personal development and became the GOAT. And
no doubt.
that's a story of triumph from somebody that wasn't really looked at.
Yeah, he tells a great story how he was complaining about not getting any reps, and his coach said, just make the one rep the best you can make it. He's like, from then on, I sort of focusing on that. Thomas, how about you, man? You got an athlete in mind?
Brady Tkachuk, the hockey player. So if you're watching the Four Nations, absolutely, he's got the dog in him. Him and his brother out there, and I think
they were in the fight.
They were the ones in the fight. But also, like, he got injured the next game, and still, you know, there's a difference between playing injured and playing hurt. And I think, like, the hockey players, they're not afraid to play hurt. And I think that sometimes, you know, you got to battle, and I say embrace the suck. And I think, you know, he's kind of embodying that right now.
No doubt.
For America.
I've been watching this. I'm almost done. It's I think it's on Prime, and it's the enforcers of the 80s and 90s of NHL hockey.
Crazy.
Nuts. Laura, how about you? You can be our last answer.
All right, I'm a big soccer gal.
Okay.
I grew up playing soccer.
Cool.
Played D1 soccer in college.
Okay.
My husband is a big into soccer too, so I have to go soccer.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go back like a long time ago, like Mia Hamm, Carla Overbeck.
Sure.
So as a little
The gold
12-year-old,
Olympic team, right?
I was so inspired by the U.S. national team and thought that, like, you know, the world is my oyster. I could really do anything. Anything is possible.
Yeah.
So, like, Tisha
Who was the girl
Venturini
that
was my
took
favorite.
her? Remember, she became.
Randy Chastain.
Chastain. Remember, she did that.
Sure enough.
Now, why did that come out? I believe it.
The thing out underneath.
That's why you're a
She slid
bartender.
on her knees was a big goal.
Provocative
Yeah.
back then.
Every guy
It
remembers
was.
that.
Yeah. Well, great answer, because they were great to watch.
Such a good
Oh my gosh,
team.
Foudy, right?
Yes, Julie Foudy and Anson Dorrance coaching at UNC.
Okay.
He was just like legendary.
Yeah, that's right. I remember
And I
that.
had UNC sweatshirts. I had a blanket growing up, and I'm like,
cool.
I'm gonna play at UNC. And then I realized that, like, I'm good, but I wasn't that good.
Yeah.
You know, and so.
But you played anyway, and it was good.
I did, yeah. I mean, you have to.
No doubt.
It was something I loved, and I wish I could still play, but. You
No
know,
doubt. Don't we all?
I think we all do. Absolutely, we all do.
All right, thanks all for being here. I really appreciate it, man.
thanks,
Hey,
Tom.
make sure you check out their profiles, this conversation, thousands and thousands of others. Just go to the website, dailynewsnetwork.com. And until next time, just stay safe and be cool out there. And we'll see you right here on The Horse's Mouth. Cheers.